And the reason we're going to work on the economic part is, well, frankly, it's actually the most important. It's the biggest part of why a project gets to be done. Is it economically feasible? If it doesn't pencil out, is the phrase that usually gets used. If it doesn't pencil out, then it's not going to happen. And so there are several dimensions to economic feasibility. One is a cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit, as in, how much does this project cost? And so let's imagine it costs $100. What are the benefits from spending $100? If the benefits of spending $100 were only $85, then we might not do it because we would be losing $15 doing this project. If we spend $100 and the benefits come out $125, then there are positive economic gains to doing this project. So let's talk about the different costs and benefits and how we need to look at them. And there's a lot of different things we need to look at. So the first piece of determining a benefit is a tangible benefit. And a tangible benefit is something that can be actually measured. That's what it means by tangible. It means you can touch it or measure it. And so examples of tangible benefits are reduced cost or avoid cost, reduce errors, and we can measure the error change. We can increase our flexibility, serve different customers, do it more of the time, do it at cheaper periods. We can increase the speed of activity. We can do things quicker, which is always good. We can get better information to management to plan and control what's going on. So imagine if we could get a system that improved our ability to know how many products we could make each week. That would be incredibly useful because then we could pass it off to the marketing department and our shipping department. We could when a customer orders 100, we could say, 100, we can get that done by Thursday. And maybe there's some value in that, and we know we can get stuff made fairly quickly or very quickly, or know exactly when we can get something made. We can actually charge extra for that rather than, we got an order for 100, we'll get it to you when it's done. I mean, someone's going to pay less for that than, order of 100, we can get that to you by Thursday. And so those are all the tangible benefits that factor into whether a project is feasible. And so what we have here is a pretty lame, I have to say. It's from a textbook, an information systems textbook, which I don't use because it's this lame. But it's a tangible benefits worksheet, and it just lays out the benefits that you would get, tangible benefits that you would get, and it sums them up. And the sum here is $50,000 of tangible benefits. Now there's going to be other benefits, intangible benefits, and there's going to be tangible costs and intangible costs to allow us to do our cost benefit analysis. Each one of these items, A through F, must be completely backed up with showing me how you got these exact numbers. If you were doing this for me as a job, which you are not, but if you worked for me at the client and I was the CIO and you produced this for me, I would want to know how you got to these numbers, and you better be able to prove it. In addition to tangible benefits, there's going to be intangible benefits, things that we cannot measure easily. And so things that can't be measured easily include employee morale, could include competitive necessity. So it might be, we either do this or we're dead. Or we might not be able to measure that, but we just know we have to get it done. We might be able to get information quicker, but we can't exactly put a number on quicker. And it might just help organizational learning and understanding. It might help with regulatory compliance, but we can't put an exact number on that. But there are going to be intangible benefits that come from putting a system in place. And we need to factor those in to our benefits side of the equation for costs and benefits. And then for our cost benefit analysis, we need to look at costs. And would you believe there are tangible costs and there are intangible costs? And on the tangible cost side, you can imagine building a new system. There's some pretty obvious tangible costs. Hardware, all right? Paying Cognizant to implement this system. Licensing the software from Salesforce. Training new employees on how to use the system. Those are very solid, tangible, real costs that we can account for. And then there's also going to be intangible costs. These are costs that can't be easily measured. All right, so it might be that there's some costs of customer goodwill, as in the customer kind of gets annoyed because we're doing things differently. And so they go somewhere else. That's called goodwill is why a customer likes you, and it's not easy to measure. It could be that our employees get a little ticked off. They have to learn how to use a system. Now, as we're looking at costs and benefits, by the way, we also need to break out. So remember, we had tangible costs, tangible benefits, intangible benefits, tangible costs, intangible costs. We also need to break down each of those by one-time and recurring. So obviously you can see this gets more and more complex as you go on. So let's look at this. There are one-time costs associated with doing a project. And so some of the one-time costs are all the things we're kind of talking about here. Systems development, right? Planning, analysis, design and implementation of a new system. Those are one-time costs typically. The new hardware that we might need to run the new servers, that's a one-time cost. Training the users, that's a one-time cost. Preparing the site, we may need to actually build a new building or build a new closet to put the server in. Converting the data from the old system to the new system, that's a one-time cost. And then in addition to one-time costs, there are recurring costs. A recurring cost is something that happens again and again. And so that's a cost associated with using the system. Salesforce charges a monthly or annual fee. That is a recurring cost. There might be incremental data storage. So frequently there is with new systems, you capture way more data than you used to do before. And I don't know, maybe you need to print more stuff off than you used to, so you got more consumable supplies than you used to have. But at the end of the day, we have recurring costs.